have my phone charged over there. I went upstairs. Over in the kitchen.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. Yourself?
Pretty good. So you can see and hear me all right?
I can.
All right, perfect. So I guess we'll just get started with how are things, man, with coronavirus? How are you holding up?
I'm doing all right. Just doing a little bit of training at home. Just spend some time with the family. Not really much else we can do. I own an MMA gym, but we're closed, obviously. So yeah, just kind of dealing with all that.
Yeah, how is that coaching wise? Because you're coach, obviously. Probably all has to be done virtually.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're basically running classes online. We get a private message group, so they're the only ones that have access to it if they're members still. So yeah, just coaching from home. It's not easy, but we have like 17 different coaches at our gym. They're all kind of doing their part to put videos up, live streams, or just videos they've recorded of classes or technique or whatnot. And we're doing everything that we can to keep everyone as satisfied as possible. But it is what it is. We're losing a lot of members because of this.
Yeah.
Some of the hardcore people don't really want to, they don't want to deal with it. Deal with paying without being able to be in the gym. But yeah, it's what it is.
How's training going? Obviously you had that huge win back in October, and then you had a surgery, right, in January, or?
Yeah, I had torn my knee. I tore my meniscus. So training's been going well. I'm not cleared to do everything yet, unfortunately. But I'm doing what I can. I'm getting stronger in a lot of areas, and I'm learning how to kind of, deal with everything that's going on, and also become a better coach, because I can't be as self-involved as I normally am. Like I'm trying to teach classes and also get my own rounds in at the same time. Now I can't really do that. So yeah, it's a little different, but it's good. I think it's good for the students having me a little more sidelined.
Yeah, do you have an idea of a potential return date? Obviously you're not 100% yet back to training. So obviously that's going to be dependent on the coronavirus, but do you have an idea? Is it like summer or?
Yeah, I think summer for sure. I should be able to fight. The doctors are telling me 1 more month before I'm cleared to really like do a lot of the stuff. But a lot of the stuff they're telling me that I'm not going to be cleared for a month for, I'm already doing. I've been holding pads for fighters and moving fast pace for over a month now. I think that their normal recovery is different, from person to person, and being a professional athlete that's really trying hard to get back, doing all the strength and conditioning, all the physical therapy that I can. It's a different timeline, but yeah, I hope I can fight by summer. I was trying to actually pick up a fight. I guess not trying too hard, but the whole UFC thing where they needed fighters for the London thing.
Yeah.
I told my manager at this point with my career, I'm trying to do things that are exciting. I want to see the world, and I want to, and I just want fights that excite me. And the fact that they needed fighters on like a week's notice in the United States, everyone that was going to step up probably wasn't going to be in perfect fight shape. And I just told my manager, hey, if they have a 55er that wants to fight at 170, I'm in. Because getting a big payday, even though I'm coming off a knee surgery, I haven't done any real training in a while. I feel like it's one of those weird roll the dice situations that I kind of threw myself in. Not really a smart thing to go for, but I put myself out there. I feel like I'm pretty good cardio wise. I'm doing all my strength and conditioning and stuff. I'm just not cleared for certain motions that are potentially dangerous to tear my knee again. But doing strength and conditioning twice a week and doing all my my bike work, all my cardio work, hitting pads and stuff. I just can't roll live, and I can't. I've done some sparring, just controlled. I have to avoid any like takedowns and stuff. So yeah.
What was behind the? I mean, obviously you had the fights in the UFC. What was behind going to Bellator? Like, obviously, guys who leave the UFC tend to, if they have the idea of making it back to the UFC, they tend to sign for like LFA or Titan, or some guys go to ONE FC. What was the decision behind Bellator?
I wanted to take anything that was exciting. I didn't. Basically, with the UFC, they just said they couldn't find me any fights, and that I could go fight locally a couple fights, and they'd have me back because they liked me a lot. But it didn't excite me to go fight locally again. I've never fought for LFA or anything, and I think that's a pretty solid promotion. But what excited me was a chance to fight for like one of the biggest leagues in the world, and have it be close enough my friends and family could go. And that was Bellator at a big casino. So we went to Mohegan Sun. I brought close to 200 people, and it was an awesome experience. Supposedly they're interested in me and looking to have me stick around, but if they do, I'd have to have a good contract and get paid well for it to be worth the squeeze. I would love to fight for ONE FC or Risen, anything that pays well. Again, at this point in my career, being the gym is doing really well, except for this huge speed bump. We have a lot of fighters that are getting ready for fights that have gotten delayed, sadly, but we got a lot of people I got to take care of. So to take another fight camp, it's a lot of work, and I have to travel more. I already go to Joe Lozon's gym on Mondays to train, and I go to Skill of Strength on Thursdays to train. Both are in Massachusetts, so it's a decent amount of traveling. And then I'm also teaching at my gym and training at my gym 6 days a week. So it's a lot, and to do any more is really tough. So it's always like, is the juice worth the squeeze? And at this point, it's like, is it a big stage where I have the excitement to get through my camp, and then am I financially going to be able to take care of myself and my family after all said and done? Because every fight I've had for the last like 4 years, dating back to like the Dana White fight, the Looking for a Fight show fight, like every one I've gotten hurt. I've gotten injuries, I've had surgeries. It's tough. It's a tough sport. So if you're not getting paid well, it's difficult to commit to.
Yeah, that was a fight that I mean, I've diehard UFC fan. I've watched it for years, but the fight against Lemke was incredible. Like, the way you fought was insane, and even the last fight against Sarin in Bellator, that finish, remarkable finish. What was your thoughts when he tried to take down the ref?
Yeah, it was one of those things that I didn't know he was out. Like, I didn't feel him go out, and he was still fighting even when he was out. His body was still, it didn't go like limp or anything. So it was just the perfect timing that he went out. The second the bell rang, I think he went out. I let go, and he'd just gone out, and his body was still trying to like go fight or flight, and he grabbed the ref. And then the second I saw that, I was kind of like, I said it kind of quietly, like, he's out, like, it's one of those weird things to process. But then, like, he wasn't letting go, and then I was like, he's out, like, the fight's over. Like, at first, like, when I kind of said it lightly, it's like, all right, he's out, like, are you gonna do something about it? But part of me at that like split second thinking like, all right, like, he's gonna let go, and I'm gonna go back and fight the third round. And then it was like, wow, it's over, this is it. Before the second I let go, I had a quick flash that was like, all right, do you guys swear on your podcast?
Yeah, you can swear, you can say whatever you want.
The split second when I let go, though, before I even looked up at him or kind of looked down at him, it's like, fuck, I gotta go back to my corner and go out for round 3 after like just that 10 seconds or so of like that squeeze. Like, it cooks your arm. So it's like, fuck, I'm gonna go back to the third round, and like, I'm probably gonna be pretty cooked for it just from that, trying to get the finish. But yeah, it ended up paying off, putting everything into that. A lot of people would kind of hang on to the neck in that short time, just for it to look good and not put everything into it. But like, clearly I put everything into that squeeze, like everything I had, and it put him out.
Yeah, I think like the first person you ran into after that fight was Joe. And been Joe's been my favorite fighter since I started watching it. Um, what was the feeling? Was it like relief after your injuries and after that loss, getting cut from the UFC? What was it like? Relief? Was it a sense of thank God? What was the feeling there?
Yeah, I mean it's all of that, man. It's I've always wanted I wanted everybody to know what I know myself. Like Joe knows it. Joe trains with me. I bet you anything that he would say that my jiu-jitsu is some of the best that he's seen. I feel like I can compete with anybody in the sport in my weight class. Um, I just usually choose to stand with people, and I think they for a while wanted me to do less of that. But I mean I feel like I can finish anyone on my feet as well. But it's just I've always wanted to have everybody else see what my coaches see and see what I know I'm capable of. You know, I had 3 rough goes in the UFC with decisions. The only one that I feel like I got outclassed, not even that bad. It was just really strategic. Was Drakkar. You know, he held
Yeah,
me on the fence. It was a great strategy for 3 rounds.
yeah,
You
Drakkar
know,
is
I landed a good amount of strikes on him, some good kicks and whatnot. But really, it was just 15 minutes of getting held on the wall, and that did it. My second loss in the UFC, I outstruck my opponent. I doubled his strike count. The first round was like a toss-up. You know, I controlled the first half. The second half, I got reversed on a takedown, and nothing happened. I just was on my back. You know, and then the second round, he won. Third round, I won. So that one was a split decision. I lost. Next one, I won by a liver kick. And then the next one after that, I thought I won the first round, and then I went completely blind in my right eye for almost the whole second and third round, because I got a hyphema in my eye, and it was one of the weirdest things. That was the worst injury I've had in a fight, even though it only stuck for it only stayed with me until I left the hospital. Um, but that was the scariest. You know, everything went dark. I couldn't see anything. It was just a dark shade of yellow.
yeah,
Uh,
your UFC career seemed to be plagued by injuries, and one of the guys we just spoke of, Joe. I'm sure you've heard you probably shared this story countless times, but I have to ask, how is it doing? And what exactly happened?
Yeah, that was just a training injury. We were doing jujitsu. Most guys don't wear cups when they do jujitsu.
Yeah.
You're not even allowed to compete with a cup on in like world stage jujitsu. Uh, but he went for a knee cut pass, and the stars aligned in the most gruesome way, where his knee came up and it came straight down and smashed like my testicle between his knee and like my pelvic bone, kinda, I think. So it was just, it was just a nutcracker, and it ruptured it. I waited a day and a half to go be seen, um, and then when I got seen, finally the ultrasound came back, and they're just like, "Have you had anything to eat or drink?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, that means I'm going in for surgery." And they're like, "Yeah, you got emergency surgery coming up." They had to bring a doctor in. They had to get it done. So they had to cut out part of it and then stitch it back up. And I have metal stitches in there for the rest of my life. So yeah, I mean, it could have been worse. A lot of people from those injuries lose it entirely, but they basically it's like the inside of a baseball. The baseball explodes, and then all like the stitching starts coming out. So they cut that, and then they stitch the baseball back up with what they could. And there,
Oh man.
that's what I
And
was left
then
with. It
yeah,
was
I do.
horrible.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of jujitsu. I mean, I'm not. I don't have any martial arts experience, but I do. I've done jujitsu for about 6 months, and uh, same sort of thing. You know, you get a knee in the face or elbows or whatever. But that's one that I've never even heard of until I saw the until I saw the post, and I was like, that can't be real. Um, but but man, no, I'm glad that it worked out as best as it could, best case
Yeah, I
scenario, I
mean,
guess.
Joe,
And
uh,
sorry to bring it up. You probably had to share that countless times, but
no, it's up there. Joe always says, and it's true in a weird, morbid way. It's like it's the best thing that happened to my career. So I had those 2 fights in the UFC that I lost decisions, and I kept begging the UFC to just find me a fight. Like I knew I could prove that I could win inside that cage, and And then, you know, like I just kept trying to make these videos to try and make them go viral, like stupid stuff, me jumping in the, you know, in the snow, like in just like Valley Tudo shorts. And then I went and did like a plunge in the water when it was like -20 out with Chucky's fight. And nothing, you know, nothing was happening. I was doing everything I could and I just wanted to fight. And it'd been a long time. And then finally I get hurt and it gets on Jim Rome. You know, I do an interview with Jim Rome I'm on Ariel Hawani's show. I'm on TMZ, all this stuff. And Jim Rome, like I asked him, like he asked like what I wanted to say at the end. It's like all I want is another fight with the UFC. Give me another shot. And then I get the call on 30 days notice after 13 months of not having a fight. And I fought in Canada in Calgary and got the win. You know, and then right after that, I was put in physical therapy because my back was hurt. And then like a couple months after that, while I was still in physical therapy, I got a call saying that I was fighting in Argentina because they announced it on Twitter without even asking me. And then I talked to my manager. It's like, hey, what's going on here? It says I'm fighting in Argentina, but I'm still in physical therapy trying to recover some disc issues in my back. And he's like, yeah, I guess they offered it to the other camp and they kind of leaked it to the press or whatever, and we kind of got to take it. So, you know, then ball kept rolling. We got to fight in Argentina, and you know, just everything kept going. But yeah, so that whole thing was, you know, a blessing in disguise. It got me, you know, a lot of publicity. Got me that next fight, and yeah.
How was fighting? I think that was the only, other than the fight in Canada, I believe that's the only fight you've ever fought outside of the United States. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. How is that like fighting on a, you know, completely different time zone, different country, you know, having a jet lag? Was it unusual? Was it different? Do you think jet lag had any impact on the performance itself, or?
No, you know, I felt great in that first round. It was like I felt aggressive. I was chasing him down. I mean, the whole fight, I feel like I chased him down, except for whenever he caught a kick and I fell on my butt, and he literally wouldn't do anything. He sat over me. Wasn't even like kicking my legs really or anything. He just sat and wouldn't engage in my guard. So yeah, you know, that fight week was a little weird. Like for a lot of it, I laid in bed because I felt sick though, pretty much the whole time there. But I paid for a dietitian to make me all my food. Weight cut went well. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't get the job done. It was a cool experience. I'd love to fight in another country again. I don't think that had anything to do with, you know, how I fought, or the fact that I sustained like the eye hyphema or whatnot. I just you know, it's just how it plays out sometimes. I fought a young, hungry kid that you know, stuck to his strategy, just tried to hit and run and run and run, and you know, it's like he got the decision that night. You know, I ended up in the hospital with my eye. And then he fought again, and he tried to do that same stuff, and he got outpointed by McDessie, and he got cut. So he doesn't really, in those fights, he didn't really try and fight. You know, it sucks that I got stuck with a loss against him, and then he got a loss, and then he just gets cut because he's not fighting the way he does on his highlight reel. When we watched his highlights, you know, he came straight forward, just knocking people out cold, and then I was coming straight at him. He's running the whole time. So yeah, it's frustrating, very frustrating fight.
Yeah, if there's one fight where let's say I'm someone who's never watched you fight, is there one fight that you're like, that's the fight you should watch me in? Like I personally think I really like the one that got you the contract to the UFC against Lemke. Is there a fight that you prefer that you're like, that's the one you should watch? Or
yeah, I would say that one and my last fight. I think my last fight, he wanted to fight me. He engaged with me on the ground, so there's some really exciting exchanges, wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But yeah, he was like he was there to fight. I feel like Horcher was an awesome one too. I think some of it, you know, there's some of it that was really frustrating. That first round when I got stuck on my back and not much happened. But the second round was awesome. Like he beat me on the feet there. Like he cracked me with a shot and I stumbled and I ended up on my back and he dove in my guard. The third round, had some good exchanges, and then I had a nice Darce attempt and then a guillotine attempt. That one was a fun one. I lost the decision. But I think the Lemke fight was awesome, and then my last one was awesome. It was just a fun one. You watch it back, it's a good fight. He has some awesome takedowns. He had a really close head and arm that I drilled and drilled and drilled to escape from. But that's kind of his bread and butter. He's a good collegiate wrestler. He was the captain of his team, and he was a D1 wrestler. He was Frankie Edgar's roommate. So it was a good, really good challenge. You know, he's a lot better than a lot of people might realize. He's one of those sleeper fighters. He was 6-1 when we fought, and his only loss was a decision to another really good guy. But some guys you watch and you're like, all right, he doesn't look too scary out there, but he's one of those guys that can just beat people. You know, he'll decision a lot of people, or he'll catch their neck and you know, use that wrestling, that head and arm kind of attack to put people away. So it's kind of a risky fight to take, because when you look at him, it's like, all right, that guy's, you know, he's not like the scary kind of guy. So if you lose to him, it's like, well, it looks like you beat a guy who's pretty beatable, but he's really good. And I felt really good about that win. And I watched it back, and I don't do that very often because I get so frustrated with myself, and I should analyze my fights more often. But I watched that one back, and I really enjoyed it. I like some of the elbows I threw. You know, I feel like I put a lot of good things together. And it was one of the very few fights you get to see me really using my jiu-jitsu, which, you know, I'm a solid black belt. So.
Yeah, I mean, the finish was remarkable. Like the way you adjusted to finish it off was really, really impressive. I guess, well, we'll stick with the lightweight division here. What are your predictions, I guess, for both the Bellator title fight for lightweight and as well as UFC 249? Who do you have winning, Khabib, Tony?
I take Khabib. The reason I say that is because Tony has been stuck in bad spots in the first round a lot of times. And the issue has seemed to be guys have slowed down when Tony doesn't. But Khabib can do that kind of thing and not ever slow down. You know, he doesn't slow down like some of those guys that have done those things to Tony in the past. You know, Kevin Lee, he did it. He mounted him, pounded him out, and then he started slowing down. So, yeah, I just don't think Khabib will slow down. But Tony's phenomenal. He's a great wrestler, and he's got some power, and he's got some great chokes. So I think he's the most dangerous person for Khabib so far, because I think he's got those really good attacks. You know, if he stuffs some of those takedowns, that front headlock position is really dangerous for Tony. Those anacondas and darces are brutal. So, but I still take Khabib, but I wouldn't be like, oh my God, look what happened. He could definitely put him away. It's just I would definitely put my money on Khabib. And then as far as the Bellator one, I don't really know the guy that Pitbull's fighting. But I mean, I don't really have to see him to say I'd probably put my money on Pitbull. Guy's a phenomenal fighter. He's mean, crazy power, athletic. And I have no clue how many fights in a row that dude's won, but he's put away a lot of really good fighters. So I'd probably say Pitbull.
All right, well, we'll shift away from some MMA content, and how's the guitar playing going? Probably have a lot of free time to pick that up.
Yeah, it's going well. I just picked up a new guitar. Ernie Ball sent me a guitar, a Music Man Mariposa, and it's awesome. I used to play music before I got into fighting. I used to play shows all the time, and that was the only thing I cared about was playing music and playing guitar. So it's been nice to pick it back up and to try and get semi-serious with it again. My goal for 2020 is to play a show. So I'm just trying to put all the right pieces together and make that happen. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I play acoustic, but same thing, a lot of free time, a lot of extra time to pick it up that I find that once I pick it up, I'll play for a while, but the past little while, it's been like I've never picked it up. It's like I have half hour. That's not enough time to pick it up. Now I seem to have all the free time in the world to do what I like to do. So
yeah,
do you
my
do any
problem
stuff?
was that I I've never really liked playing acoustic too much. So now I force myself to have my guitars like around. So you can see like my half stack is just sitting in my living room here. And then I have an acoustic sitting here, but the Mariposa is sitting right on the couch right here, just waiting for me to play it. So I'm forcing it to be in my face. So
I find if it's out, you'll play it.
Thing. Yeah, I don't like playing acoustic as much. It's probably because I'm not good enough to play it well. But I've always written music on electric, and I like distortion. I like I like tapping, and that's my style of guitar. So having my other guitars always in their cases, that was like just enough work to make me not want to take them out. And then I pick up the acoustic and not have too much fun doing it. So yeah, it kept me away. So now I have my Gibson SG sitting next to my bed on a guitar hanger with a little amp upstairs. So when I lay down in bed, I can just pick it up and play a little bit. And then I have that one over there just sitting out.
Have you ever thought of playing music for your walkout? Creating your own?
I haven't. But the guy that I walk out to, his name is Mike Dion. He's one of my best friends, and he has his MC name is I9, EYENINE. And I've always walked out to his music for at least almost all my career. And he's supposed to start playing music with me. He plays bass, so he'd do some like rapping and whatnot in the music, kind of like I'm not like a Linkin Park fan, but that's the only way I could kind of equate it, where it has like vocals and then also like an MC in there, but it would be a completely different genre of music. But I'm really interested to see how it plays out. He's really, really talented. If you look him up, I9.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'll have a look.
It's very good. My old walkout song by him was "We're Alive." The new one's not released yet. It's called Kentucky Derby, but it will be soon, hopefully.
All right, perfect.
It's been a while.
I'll write that down. I'll take a listen. And I guess last question is, how is Phoebe?
She's good. She's right here. She's laying on the couch. Phoebe,
the cutest pet I've ever seen, right there.
Hi, Phoebes. She's just sleeping on the couch. She's had a blast this whole quarantine because all she does is follow me around, and every time she follows me, I get something for her to eat because I can't handle her, not being happy.
Yeah, all the attention must be nice.
Yeah, she likes it.
All right, man. Well, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it. Just getting started, and it's really nice to have some guys I've watched for a little while be willing to do this. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good luck, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, best of luck with everything with coronavirus, as well as your upcoming fights, and wish you the best.
Thank you very much. Take care, man.
All right, yeah, you too.